This car came out of nowhere. Nobody asked for it, but boy, are we glad Mazda gave it to us. The Mazdaspeed 3, it's kind of a big deal. It's hatchback, it's 4 doors, and it's freaking turbo. This thing is a reminder to all that Mazda knows how to party. For those of you overseas, let me explain to you why this car is such a big deal. See, in Europe, you have a plethora of vehicles we here in the state won't be able to get until they reach the tender age of 25. So while you guys were taking your Focus RSs and Megane RSs for granted, the Mazdaspeed 3 was all we had. I mean, fuck you guys. You guys had the Civic Type R and the Focus RS and the Golf R years before we did. And yeah, I know we got SRT 4s and Cobalts, but it's just not the same. The Mazdaspeed 3 is the perfect package of practicability, aesthetics, and power. So why shouldn't you buy the Mazdaspeed 3 then? Well, really, it comes down to 2 reasons. Number 1, cost. It's a great car, and yeah, it's worth the expensive cost, but really, you're just paying for the Mazda badge. Reason 2, the Mazdaspeed 3 is a nice car, and nice cars are overrated. So what's the solution? What car should you buy? Alright, you ready for this? The PT Cruiser Turbo. Oh, what, not a fan? Hey, yeah, I know, I feel the same way. I think everyone does. The car looks dumb, it looks awkward, and it just doesn't look all that good. But this might just be a positive for owning this car. See, when you get inside this vehicle, you're invisible. You can't get any more under the radar than this. You won't get asked to race every stoplight, cops will leave you alone, and your car is completely safe because not even carjackers want that shit. The PT Cruiser, however, is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's essentially an SRT4, and we all know what the SRT4s are capable of. Like, does it really need to look nice and be fast? Put it like this. Tammy is a 10 and very promiscuous. And Sandy is a 6 and very promiscuous as well. See, Tammy at minimum will require a fancy sit-down restaurant and a movie maybe, when Sandy only requires McDonald's value menu. I don't need an economics degree to know that Sandy is a better choice. Come on guys, the PT Cruiser is not that ugly of a car. I mean, it's no uglier than a Fiat 500 or a VW Beetle. These cars look as ugly as a PT Cruiser, and yet they have big followings. There is, however, no brand loyalty for Chrysler. I think most consumers gave up on Chrysler long ago, way before Chrysler closing rumors ever surfaced. Had the car came from another car company, I think the car would have done a lot better in the eyes of consumers. Maybe it's just not as fancy as other cars. It's not foreign, but the car has potential for being a classic. It's small, it's practical, and it's ugly. The PT Cruiser Turbo isn't the prettiest car, and you will have to be very comfortable with your masculinity to daily drive this thing. But it used to be the same way with Miata. For the longest time, nobody wanted that thing for fear that their manhood would be called into question. And to think, all it took was an entire drift culture to change your mind. The PT Cruiser has a freaking turbo. That, by itself, makes a PT Cruiser a little cool. Don't wait for somebody else's insecurities to tell you which car you can buy. So, although the PT Cruiser Turbo isn't as nice looking or as crowd pleasing as the Mazdaspeed 3, to some people it doesn't need to be. Of course, the Speed 3 is better looking, but think of all the money you'd save buying the PT Cruiser Turbo over the Mazdaspeed 3. You could buy like 3 PT Cruiser Turbos for the price of one Mazdaspeed 3. And with all the money you'd save buying the PT Cruiser Turbo over the Mazdaspeed 3, you could drop all that extra cash into the PT Cruiser for more power. Just think of where you'll be. Pretty things are worth the cash, but if it's between a 42 horsepower Ferrari and the fastest car ever, that also happens to be a fiberglass Shrek head, then I'm gonna go Shrek head every time. Alright guys, I'm out.